Hey there, I want to go through a few quick examples of sites that you can scrape with this web scraper beyond the two that I show in the demo, Craigslist and Google. So here's a quick example of a very simple site that might be useful. I definitely saw people scraping this site in my searches. That's the site for TED Talks. I'm not sure why people are scraping this, but it's a pretty common design of sites. It's an event list, so you've got a main page here. Each of these is a new event, and let's see, down here at the bottom, you've got your next button, 31 pages of results. Okay, so each of these is basically a block. There's a little tiny white line here between each block you can see, or a gray line. So you're going to scrape this just like you would imagine. You're going to choose the next page button all the way there at the bottom. Now we're going to, we don't have to go all the way to the top. Let's stay at the bottom just because we're already there. Now we're going to choose the example page link. That's going to be the link that we want to go inside. So we're actually going to click into each of these results. Okay, now it's going to highlight each of those, which is pretty cool. And now we're going to go into one of them as an example. Now I've actually already got a scraped set of data from this site that I'll show you instead of running it, but let's just show you how we're going to build this. We're going to select the data on the page that we'd like to scrape. So let's see, so much information here. What do we want? Let's take the date. Let's take the city and state, or I guess it's country and city and country. Let's take this description. I'm not sure if it'll grab that or not, but let's just call that description. And let's take, let's see, there's a couple of different organizers on the page. Maybe we'll look at the event type. Let's do that. Is there anything else that we might want on this page? Let's say whether or not it's public. And we're going to save this as TedX2 and run that template. Now it's going to load that first page, and it's going to go into each individual event page and grab the data from each event. And that is a great example of one site that is easy to scrape with this software. Let's look at another. Okay, I'm going to show you an example of a site that might require two templates just because the way it's formatted changes a little bit. That site is Yelp. So let's build a Yelp template. Let me find, I've already got a couple Yelp templates here and just going to use this as an example. So let's say you want to get all the restaurant data from Yelp. And you want to do that, you don't need to go into each result. You just want to load a search page with the correct data and get the information from the search page. Okay, so you'll see that this is a list of restaurants in Berkeley that are sorted by whatever the default sort is. Okay, so down here at the bottom of the page, you're going to see the next button, and I'm going to show you that if you follow the normal set of instructions and click the next button, you choose a set of data to scrape. Let's pick that box, and let's grab the restaurant name, and the phone number. Let's just do that. Okay. Now, if we're going to run this template, I'm going to call this Yelp page 1, 2, and you'll see why. It's going to load this first page. It's going to scrape the data. It's currently scraping the data. You can tell by how this is grayed out. And it goes to the next page. So this is results number 11 through 20, page 2 of 100, and then it stops. The reason it stops is that the site changes format slightly from page 1 to 2. Everything after page 2 all the way up to page 100 is the same. So you actually, to get all of the data, have to build 2 separate templates. They're just slightly different, but let me show you. Let's keep this. We're going to save this URL so we can build the next template with it. Oops. And I didn't know this. I didn't know that they were different until I ran it and it stopped. And that's one of the things that you'll maybe end up running into occasionally is the site won't either pull all the data that you expect, or it won't actually run all the way through. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to build the template the exact same way that I built it before. Select the next page button. Select the region that I want to scrape. And the data that I wanted to scrape was the biz name and the phone number. Now when I save this as Yelp page 2 through 100, you'll notice that it's going to run all the way through. So it started on results 11 through 20. Now it's going to go to 21 through 30. 31 through 40, and it's going to keep going. And it's going to stop, when it gets through all of them, because the only difference is the way the site changes on results 1 through 10. So I'm going to show you how I figured that out, besides the fact that it stopped working. Let's go ahead and cancel this, and I'm going to go into 2 separate templates, okay? So these 2 templates are, let's see, Yelp 2 and Yelp 3 are basically the same. I built them, actually, let's just use the ones that we just made. These 2 have almost the exact same text, right? We did everything exactly the same, but you'll notice right here in this text, and I can't make it a little bigger, but I can show you what it looks like down there. When you switch from the first page to the second page, you'll notice over here there's a slight difference in the XPath of where the next button is. Right here. There are 10 divs in the first page of results. There are 11 divs in the second page of results. And that little bit of difference means that it stops on page 1 or page 2 and doesn't continue unless you rebuild it for the final results. It only takes a moment, and one thing you can do if you're not sure of how they're different is use a page called diff checker. And basically all you're doing is build a template. When it stops working, or if it doesn't go all the way through, start building the template on the next page and copy the data into this site, diffchecker.com. This just checks differences in text, okay? So you put one template in here or another template and the other template in here. You click find difference and it'll show you what's different between the text. So for example, if I had I love web scraping and I love web scrapping, and I click find difference, it'll highlight this minor difference there, right? It recognizes that little difference. So I did that in those 2 templates, and it showed me, oh, there's a difference in these particular little sections there in the XPath. And that basically just is how I figured out that I needed 2 templates. I built 2 of them and saw what was different. There's no way that I know of to build one template that would scrape all of the data. Some people might be able to do that if they know XPath. You can, I think, use asterisks, maybe regular expressions perhaps, to make it easier. But I just wanted to show you how, even without knowing all this XPath crap, you can still just build 2 templates, scrape all the data, and not have to worry about it. Let's do one more example really quickly. Okay, I'm going to show you really quickly how to scrape a site that I used to visit all the time that I think could be, one of those many cool ways to pull data off of a site that you can use for all kinds of stuff. This is a deal site called Slickdeals. And it's a forum, basically. So people post deals to it every day. Lots of deals every day. Every hour, in fact. So I've loaded one particular page in it called, hot deals. And we're just going to go into each of the hot deals and grab a little bit of data from them. First, we find the next page button. Then we find an example page. Going to click that one. And now we're going to go into the example page once it's finished. And what data do we want from this? Let's see. How about the title? And is there anything else that's cool? Okay, so down here we've got a deal score, the amount that you save, that's pretty cool. The number of people who viewed the deal, the number of comments. Lots of good data there. So let's grab all that. We'll call this deal title. Score, views, comments, and that seems like enough information. I was considering saving the actual link here for the URL, but I'm not sure that it will actually save it. Now you could, I believe, save this href here, but you would have to click through it, and that might be fine. It's not going to show you the actual URL because all of these URLs are forwarded so that Slickdeals can get credit for anyone who uses their deals. So let's call this Slickdeals 4, and there we go. Now let's collect some deals. So it loads the first set of results, and there's a lot of data on it. This is a kind of a complex page. You'll notice these forums and other sites that have a lot of ads, a lot of GIFs, a lot of images, things like that. It does move a little bit slower, and that's just going to happen. There's not really a way around that. The more complex the site is, unfortunately with a visual scraper like this that does scraping by completely rendering the page, you get a lot of benefit. You can interact with pages that have JavaScript. You can interact with pages that have images. The site completely loads, which means that it looks the way to the web scraper that it looks to you, which makes building the scraping template much easier, but it means it's a little bit slower. So as long as you're willing to wait a little bit and give it time to load, you'll see that it scrapes a lot of cool data very easily. So right now you'll see, it's hovering on this page, and the reason for that is it's actually waiting for the page to load all the way before it moves to the next page. And when there's a lot of data on the page like this, it's not my connection, it's just that the page itself has a lot of information on it that needs to load, and it takes a bit of time. But if you go to the session, you'll see that it is grabbing the data. So we've got the URL, the deal title, the number of views, the comments, and links to the actual product for sale. So there you go. Those are 4 examples of some pretty cool scraping options and ways you can use this web scraper. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoy it.